Welcome to Echo 492, Economics of Human Resources. Study Session 1, Concept, Scope, and Overview of Economics of Human Resource. Economics can be defined as the allocation of limited resources for the satisfaction of unlimited wants. Economic activities therefore spring from human wants and desires. Human beings generally want the commodities necessary to keep them alive. These are called basic needs: food, shelter, and clothing. Incidentally, when these are met, they desire variety. As a result, they want more than are available. The availability of goods depends on how much is produced. The production of these goods and services depend on the economic resources needed for its production. Economists are mainly interested in providing answers to basic economic questions. Such questions include: what are resources? Why do we have to produce at all? What are wants and needs? Every economy rests on the principle of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. These activities must be done efficiently. Resources are inputs that go into the production process. Production of goods and services is required in order to satisfy human wants of individuals and households. Wants are things people desire over time, while needs are things necessary for human survival. This includes basically food, shelter, and clothing. Most developed countries in the world have moved beyond economy of needs to economy of wants, while developing countries are still battling with the necessity of life: food, shelter, and clothing. In any economy, the productive activity determines the standard of living. The standard of living is determined by the productive activity of the individual, ceteris paribus. This implies that what an economy produces is what the citizens are likely to buy. Therefore, production brings about an increase in income. The standard of living of any economy can be determined by the extent to which people satisfy their needs. The amount of goods people consume determine the amount of production in an economy. In an economy, human beings act as both producers and consumers, and every activity that goes on in life is an economic decision, the decision to produce or consume. This means that production and consumption activities are key issues in the economy of any individual, household, or nation. The strength of any nation lies in the relationship between them. This is because if production is greater than consumption, that economy is in surplus, with its attendant economic implications, and vice versa. Economic resources are inputs or ingredients that go into the production of goods and services. Traditionally, there are four main types of resources, which are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. These can be broadly reclassified into human and non-human resources. Non-human resources are land and capital. Land refers to everything provided by nature, land and associated natural resources, like physical land, air, water, mineral resources, and so on, while capital refers to everything that is manufactured for the purpose of helping man in his production activities. Capital refers to those goods that are used to produce other goods, for example, roads, machines, buildings, and so on. The other two factors of production, labor and entrepreneur, are called human resources. Labor includes all human efforts of mind and muscle that can be used in production process, and entrepreneurs refer to everything that helps put life into grouping and organization of other economic resources. Because humans are important in the production process, there must be a market where they are demanded or supplied. Therefore, human resources involve the population in an environment that is the totality of the entire persons in a geographical region. This implies that the economic growth of any economy is linked to the demand for and supply of children into the economy. The vital question now is, can we convert human resources into human capital? There are two major ways to convert human resources to human capital. These are through education and good health facilities. With education and good health facilities in an economy, the required human capital of skilled labor combine effectively with other factors of production to produce what is needed in an economy. Individuals are human resources, but they are very little usefulness until they are converted to human capital, productive aspects of human resources. Human capital consists of all the qualities of a person that is developed, including knowledge, health, skills, and experience, which affect his or her possibilities of earning current or future money income. Human capital is a stock variable because it is measured at a particular point in time. Like every stock variable in economics, it can be expanded through investment. For example, education, and it can depreciate. Education, sport, training, knowledge must be acquired. Investment is the process of gaining knowledge. Human capital can then be described as a stock of skills and productive knowledge embodied in the people. It is the production capacity of human beings as income producing agents in an economy. Just like physical capital, human capital is a main source of current and future flow of output and income. One important characteristic of all resources, whether human or otherwise, is that they are scarce in relation to production requirements. It then means that the limited resources available should be organized efficiently and effectively to achieve a higher level of welfare or standard of living. The problem with human resources is that they cannot be easily increased, and its increase, despite increasing the amount of human resources available, also increases the level of wants that they desire, and consequently the goods and services that must be produced. This makes human beings both the means and ends of economic development. Human beings can be viewed from both the demand and supply sides of the economy. The study of demand in economic theory usually involves the maximization of utility subject to constraints in order to get a demand function. The process of allocating income among competing goods and services thus calls for a task in demand analysis. The demand analysis is governed by opportunity cost of whatever choice is made over alternative possible choices foregone. There is no free lunch. In a simple demand analysis, the main determinants that affect human resource demand include income of the household. The effect of income depends on particular type of commodity, whether normal, inferior, or given. Another main determinant of the good is the price of that commodity, while a third one is the relative price of the commodity with reference to another commodity. This depends on the relationship between the two commodities, either complements or substitutes. Our focus in this course is human beings from the supply side. This is where human beings become human resources as a result of their productive capabilities. Peculiarities of human resource. 1. The worker sells only his work, but his capital is retained in himself. The reason is that the worker can only sell their productive process. Only labor, productive services can be sold, but not the worker himself. Workers and the human capital resources they possess cannot be physical capital. The seller must deliver the labor service by himself, being there physically by phone, call, internet. 2. Each supplier of human resources possesses subjective preferences about the use of which the resources is used, as well as the location of employment and working condition. Apart from financial factors, human resources is supplied subject to some subjective working conditions factors, for example, risks, how honorable the employment is, cleanliness, and so on. 3. Despite the fact that the suppliers possess objective preferences, also those that demand for human resources have their own subjective preferences. For example, preferring women to men for some kind of jobs, beauty, tribe, race, marital status. 4. The decisions to supply human resources and to consume goods are strongly interdependent. The amount of human resources one provides will determine how much one will consume. It is based on the fact that productivity determines income and therefore consumption. The quality or quantity of human resources determines the wage earned, which in turn determines the quality or quantity of goods and services consumed. 5. The decision to supply human resource by persons living within the same household are strongly interrelated, especially when members of the household are family. Household comprises of everybody who eats from the same pot, sociology, and stay under the same roof, while family includes father, mother, and children. For example, job of father affects the mother and children. 6. Suppliers of human resource often form interdependent units and take collective actions in the pursuit of their interests. For example, formation of trade unions to protect their interests, in most cases to increase wages. When worker form groups, they become monopolistic in nature. 7. Psychological factors also have important influence on human resource. They are also important in influencing the supply of human resources. For example, trust, loyalty, friendship, love, fairness, motivation. We have come to the end of study session 1. Thank you.